Get ready for a juicy tale of love gone wrong. It's the story of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, a Hollywood romance that started off sweet but turned sour real quick. After a tumultuous relationship, these two ended up in court, battling it out for millions of dollars. Who will come out on top? Well, we've got criminal defense attorney Sara Azari here to give us the inside scoop on Amber Heard's shocking testimony. Buckle up, folks! This is gonna be a wild ride. Don't miss out on any of the juicy details. Make sure to watch until the very end to get the full scoop. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest scandalous news, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this.
So, Fred, domestic violence is a deadly epidemic. Obviously, it's horrific. What she's describing in graphic detail is awful. But in a court of law, we look for the truth. We look for credibility. We look for corroboration. And her testimony has been largely implausible. I don't impose. Well, look, I'm not saying that victims of domestic violence need to gather proof and take photographs of all their injuries, but this is a person who was very well documenting and photographing the chaos around her, the broken objects, the videoing Johnny Depp in his kitchen slamming cabinets. But yet she does not take any photos of some very, very serious injuries, not just little marks on her face, but cuts, things, the broken nose, the broken ribs. And she's someone, Fred, who is surrounded by nurses and doctors and other witnesses who have testified that they saw no marks of abuse on her ever following these incidents that she's alleging. Then you look at the added facts over time. When you start elaborating and exaggerating, the facts become more detailed. That usually shows fabrication on some level. And last but not least, she has very selective memory. The facts that are bad for her, she says she doesn't know, she doesn't recall, and yet she recalls the type of flooring that she was dragged across after being sexually assaulted. It's really, a credibility call for this jury, but I would say between her and Depp is the one that's more credible and likable. And in a court of law, as you know, Fred, if the jury likes you, they will believe you. If they don't like you, you better have some strong corroboration.
Wow, but in her defense, can't sometimes trauma interrupt your memory of things?
Yes, absolutely. And we had experts testifying to that, or at least her expert, her hired gun, Dr. Hughes, testified before she testified. But again, you look at the totality, right? You give her that. You say, okay, fine, you don't remember, but then why is it that you remember other things that are irrelevant, but you don't remember, and then you look at the lack of photographs. Some of these injuries, Fred, she absolutely would have landed in the hospital for. Non-option. It's not whether you're, oh no, I don't want to go to the hospital like some victims do say. It's that she would have been bleeding. She would not have a choice but to be taken to the hospital. So again, there's an implausibility here that I just can't overlook. And she's just not as relatable as Depp was in his testimony.
So as a defense attorney, how would you prepare your client for a moment like this?
Well, I think when you are telling the truth, obviously your lawyer will prepare you and you are prepared for anything that comes at you on cross-examination. If you are putting together facts in a story, then it's tough because there might be questions asked of you on cross, and her cross is going to be brutal, I imagine, that you just cannot prepare for. And ultimately, Fred, I want to bring this back to the veracity of the 2018 op-ed, because that's why we're here, right? We know that, let's just say this jury believes her. They must have absolutely also believed Depp, because he definitely had the more credible case. So now you have two perpetrators. Her op-ed is written as a first, person Me Too victim point of view. So is it truthful to say that you are a victim of domestic violence when at least on some occasions you've been the perpetrator? I mean, to me, that's deceptive. It's a half-truth, and a half-truth is a lie, which makes it defamatory.
You mentioned the cross-examination just might be brutal. We know that a spokesperson for Johnny Depp has said that when they cross-examine, it will highlight the many fallacies that she has testified to. At the same time, might it potentially backfire if cross-examination is too tough?
Yes, I mean, you know, sometimes when lawyers get snarky and they get personal and they get really sort of hostile, it doesn't look good before a jury. But sometimes the witness is the one that gets hostile in response because she or he is not prepared for that question. And so this will be really interesting. I keep saying a first-year law student could do this cross-examination and unravel this testimony. There is just so much, Fred, that she can be impeached with. There's so much we've heard in the last 3 weeks that is contrary to what she's saying. And I'm also curious about the other witnesses that she's going to put up. Are they going to change the trajectory of this case for her in some way?
All right, we'll all be watching. Sara Azari, good to see you. So glad you could join us today.
Then Amber's 3-year scheme to falsely accuse Johnny Depp was revealed. Here's the audio.
Cooperation between people hearing us, or cooperation of next day, Whitney sending text message to Kevin, him responding, or, the kind of stuff like between me and people in your life. It is insanely cross-collaborated, then. It is a plan. I'm going to put makeup on myself and take pictures throughout years and just sit on it for years.
Did Amber Heard have an evil plan to frame Johnny Depp? According to evidence presented in the case, Heard allegedly made comments about taking pictures of her with makeup and sitting on them for years. Amber Heard allegedly remarked, "It is insanely cross-corroborated. Then it is a plan for me to put on makeup and snap pictures of myself throughout the years and just sit on it for years. The parallel existence of this imagined life and real life. Do you understand? I have linked the photographs with text messages to my mother and text messages between, for instance, Raquel and my mother or father, or text messages between my 2 pals. And with tens of thousands of people seeing a certain photo on her Instagram page, some believe that her intentions were anything but innocent. But is there more to the story?" In her defense, Heard claimed that she was simply informing her publicist, Jody Gottlieb, of possible postponements due to facial scars. Check out the unedited audio and decide for yourself. This is one scandal you won't want to miss.
If you have those memory divots.
I was upset. There was a lot going on, and I was on an Ambien. Why are you obsessing over the fact that I can't remember it the way you remembered it? I said I was sorry. I didn't deny it.
I'm not talking about that.
Things really heat up in the recording when Amber demands that Depp publicly declare their fight was fair and let a jury and judge decide. What led up to this explosive moment? Tell them it was a fair fight and see what the jury and court think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them that I, Johnny Depp, am also a domestic abuse victim. It's a fair fight, and we'll see how many people believe or side with you. Did Amber Heard really have bruises on her face, or was it all just a clever cover-up? During opening statements, Amber's attorney used centuries of cosmetic history to explain how her client covered up the alleged bruises. But one of Johnny Depp's closest friends tells a different story. According to the friend, there were no signs of injury to Heard's face in the days following her claim that Depp had struck her. And Isaac Baruch, an artist who has known Depp for almost 40 years, testified before the UK High Court that he saw no signs of injury to Heard. Who's telling the truth? You'll have to keep watching to find out. He claimed, "I literally was around 12 inches from her, inspecting her face, and I did not see a single mark or evidence of any marks, bruising, or swelling of any kind anywhere on her face." She also definitely didn't seem to be wearing any makeup at this time of day that could cover any marks or swelling. We want to hear from you. What do you think about this scandalous story? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our channel for more updates on the latest Hollywood scandals. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop and never miss a video. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up by hitting the like button. Thanks for watching!